Hey guys, welcome back to what I hope is going to be quick video, quick by my standards, hopefully under 10 minutes. What this one's going to cover, I've had a lot of requests about, well, Jim, what does your guitar sound like in the room? How do we know when we're getting close? How do we know if the raw sound is right? So I started thinking about that and how best to present that. And at the same time, a buddy of mine, Stan, who I've gotten to know through doing these videos, another fellow Van Halen nut, he sent me these tracks that have been floating around the internet for a while. I've heard them before, but I think his are a little bit better quality. I mean, that could be my imagination, but I think they are a little bit better quality. Anyway, they're the Runnin' with the Devil tracks. It's just a really quick like clip of the isolated Celestion and the isolated JBL, and there's no processing on it other than the 1176 compressor that they use to protect from transients on the tape machines, on the tape itself. So they're really raw tracks. You can hear the bass pumping in the background. You can probably hear a little bit of drum bleed going through in the background. So what I did is I went and re-recorded everything that I had done in the previous videos. I set the Van Halen 1 setup back up. And I changed things. I've been screwing around and I've learned some stuff through the other videos. It's the Destroyer. It's my Greco Destroyer. And I've got the Super 70 pickup in it. I don't have the DiMarzio. It's the Super 70. Because I really think that's the one. And the amplifier is the same as it was when I recorded the first Brown Sound video, the Van Halen 1 Brown Sound video. But this time, I'm turning it all the way up. I'm turning it up to 10, just volume 1, so that everything's cranked on 10. And I'm running the voltage at 67 volts like I did for the Fair Warning video. And I didn't pull 2 tubes. So, I mean, there's a number of ways to get there, but I was just doing this as kind of an exercise, and I wanted to see where we were at. And so then when I started listening, I thought, hey, this sounds pretty cool. I think we're really close this way too. So anyway, this video is going to be all in Logic. No me playing guitars or anything like that. It's going to be a comparison between those raw tracks and my version of the raw tracks. Now I have to emulate an analog console, so I'm doing that with my Waves NLS Summer and running it through an API 550 EQ, but it's all flat. I mean, I'm not adding or subtracting anything. I'm just trying to get a little analog pass-through signal. And then I'm using tape emulation. I'm using a Studer. I think it's a 77 Studer at 15 IPS. So, and I don't know if that's what they used at Sunset. So I don't know what kind of tape machines they had back then. But that's what I'm using to kind of give it that tape sound. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so about the isolated tracks, the Runnin' with the Devil Van Halen tracks, where you've got the Celestion and the JBL isolated. I put them here in the system. Here they are, Van Halen Celestion and Van Halen JBL. I've lined them up about as perfectly as I can so they are in phase. And I've got them down here on these 2 tracks. There is nothing in here for plugins. And then if these get routed to the stereo out, which is right here, and I've got all of these shut off so that you can hear exactly what the stereo out sounds like, or just those raw tracks, what they sound like. On my tracks, I've got the greenback right here. There's the greenie, and here's the JBL. So on mine, I have to simulate going into an analog console. So I'm running this nonlinear summer, which is, it's just like an input stage. It's almost like a pad on a console, but I'm not adding. I'm just running it through as like an analog pass through. They warm up the sound, or they're a little bit analog sounding. So I'm doing that on both the JBL and the greenback. Then I'm running an API 550, same thing, straight through. This is what I do in all the videos, so it's the same setup essentially. No EQ being added. And then I talked about the 1176 compressors. We're running one of those just to protect it. I mean, I'm running like 1.5 to 2 dB reduction here, compression, and then I make it back up, so it's unity. So that's all those compressors are doing. So they do have a tone, they do have a little bit of subtle color, but it's again not that big a deal. All right. So let's listen to the Van Halen tracks. We can isolate them first. Let's do the Celestion. Okay, so now let me then come over here, turn on my tape simulator. I don't need the other stuff. Just let me turn on my tape reel simulator. And it's set there. I'm using a Studer model. Whether that's what it is or not, I don't know, but it's a Studer. Adds a nice little color to it. So here's my greenback. Mine's up here, the greenie. So that's just the raw greenback coming out of my guitar setup with the SM57 running into it. There's nothing special. Let's listen to Ed's again. So it's pretty close. His might be just a touch bit warmer, just a touch, and that could be, that could be a half inch on the mic placement. So, we're really, really close. All right, so let's listen to the JBL then. So here, let's do Ed's JBL since we're down here. Okay. We don't want to double color his. Okay, so that's his JBL. So let me turn on my tape thingy. See, it's got just a little bit more brightness and a little more mid, maybe. We'll go through and do Ed's one more time. Okay, so you can hear they're extremely close. Let's listen to them together now. So when you blend them, and again, this is all un-EQ'd. They went through then and then ran Ed's stuff through the Pultec EQs and all the other stuff, the reverb chambers and all that stuff. So we're not running through any of that right now. So let's listen to what both of his sound like blended. Here we go. All right, so now let's listen to mine. I'd play them all together for you, but I'm not playing in time with it. So it's too hard to hear and lay them back to back. I got Ed on the right side and I'm on the left side. So, but there you have it. I mean, it's about as close as I had ever hoped to get. In fact, I hadn't done this experiment. It's closer than I thought. That means that the amplifier, the guitar, and the speaker cabinet, and the microphones and everything, there's nothing else in the chain. That means that the bass rig, Echoplex, yada yada, everything, the phaser and the flanger, that stuff is getting really darn close to what the raw sound that they were recording that day when they recorded this at Sunset Sound. So I think that's pretty cool.
Hey, well, that was it. That was kind of cool. I was I was experiencing that at the same time you were watching that, because I hadn't really done the experiment and I hadn't really done the analysis back and forth. So I was listening to it as you were listening to it, and you know what? I'm pretty impressed. I think it's pretty cool that it's as close as it is. No, it's not exact, but it's pretty darn close. Mine is probably a little bit more MIDI. Maybe a little brighter, maybe not quite as full, but it's pretty close. And those to me would be minor tweaks with a mic placement or something like that. So the basic tone is there, and I think that's really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. You know where to find me. I respond to most. Until the next time, thanks for watching. See ya.